Hello everybody, my name is Wouter van der Weengaard. I'm a professor in the Department of Micro and Nanosystems at KTH, and I will be your teacher in two of the lectures. The first lecture I'm going to teach is Fundamental Physical Principles in Sensors and Actuators, and the second lecture I'm going to teach is the one on microfluidics. I want to start this lecture with giving a short introduction and some general information about the lecture. So the first thing is that some general tips. You're watching this lecture on a video, and you may know that if you look in the settings on the right bottom corner, you can actually speed up the video. So you can watch this video in slow motion or even at, I think, 50%, 25, 50 and 200% higher speed. So this is one hint. If you think it's too easy or it goes too slow, you can speed that up. Second thing that I want to tell you is that at any moment during the video you can press the C if you feel confused and the Q if you have a question. What happens then is that I will get that information from all of you. It's anonymous, so 40 of you will watch this video, and I get, for example, on a certain video I'll get 10 people clicking the C. Then I know at a certain point in the video something is confusing and I should explain something better. And that information, or if you, for example, type in questions, that information I can use then, so when I see you in the classroom, I can then take that information and perhaps where there's a lot of confusion, I can take that up and explain that a little bit better. So use that for feedback. Another point I should make is that the two lectures that I teach are very long lectures, and that is for historical reasons. There's actually two lectures that in transducers that have been combined now in one lecture, and in microfluidics it's the same thing. So the videos for the transducer lecture, I think together are roughly 3 hours, and on microfluidics it's even longer. I think it's about 5 hours. So if you have a lecture or a seminar on Monday morning, and you think on Sunday evening at 11 o'clock, you're a student, I know, at 11 o'clock you start preparing for the Monday, and I'm quickly going to watch this video, you're going to have a problem, because it's, if you have a 5-hour video still to watch, you don't have too much sleep. So be prepared for that. I inform you up front of that. My lectures are longer lectures. The other lectures will not be like that. The lecture material, I want to say also, so on one side you have the videos that you're watching. There's also the overhead slides. You have them available as PDF on the website. I made updates, so in 2015 I made a first set of videos and I used lecture material. Then I got feedback from my students and I use that to actually upgrade the material. I do that every year. That's why it's important for me to get your feedback. I have updated overhead slides. For the videos, I have not made so many updates. The reason for that is not that I'm lazy, but it's because I am on parental leave most of the time this year. I got a third child in the beginning of the year, so... and I didn't have the time to take all these videos. So what I have done is the following things. There's three main things. The first is that in the lecture materials, sometimes there are videos that I use from external sources, and they take some time, and people have been complaining this takes too much time. So I have started these videos I called optional. And for example, you see that there's here in this lecture, there's an optional video on magnetics, there's an optional video on Coriolis force, and an optional one on a walking micro robot. Where I have made mistakes, or where I wanted to introduce something new that I did not have last year, I have introduced a short video and I call it update or correction. But the rest of the material is the same as last year. The things where I wanted to shorten this lecture, or where I can shorten the lecture, and I've tried to do that, is to have less slides on piezoelectric MEMS and less slides on magnetic MEMS. Some of the examples I've taken away from the overhead slides. They're still in the video, but well, you'll have to live with that. Maybe I can remove that next year. I have to cut that out and see how to do that. What else do I want to tell you? Yes, the lecture overview. This lecture contains actually out of 8 moments, or 8. So first there's an introduction to sensors and actuators and transducers in general. And then there are, I'm going to jump between actuators and sensors. So there's 4 actuation principles I'm going to talk in more detail about, and 2 sensing principles. And once this is done, so when I have done this 6, then there's a last section on integration, how you can integrate actuators, especially, and actuator materials to MEMS. I have a special part of the lecture on that also. So you have that information. So this is how the lecture is structured. There are specific parts in transducers and physical principles that I do not talk about here. That's because they have separate lectures specifically for those. And these are everything that has to do with fluidics and microfluidics, everything that has to do with the resonators, and everything that has to do with optics. I have left that out. Yeah. Finally, before you continue with the first video, or for the next video, I should mention that in the seminar that will be, I believe it's on Monday for you, I will, only the people that have watched actually the lecture will be allowed in. And the reason for that is that you're going to work in groups, and you should only work in groups. The only groups that will be formed are the ones where people have actually watched the lectures. People that have not watched the lectures, they will only slow down and the group, so they will not be allowed into the room. So watch your lectures on forehand. All right, good luck with this, the rest of the videos. Thank you, and see you on Monday.